Hey guys, Jay here. Have you noticed how bloody hot out it is? I mean, of course you have. Everyone's noticed how hot out it is. It's July. It's summertime here in North America, in the Northern Hemisphere, across the globe. It's too hot. Shoes are melting on pavement. You can cook an egg on your hood. I don't know why you would, but you could. In theory, you could do that. Don't. It's probably very unsanitary, and eggs are great, so don't ruin eggs by cooking them on your hood. But I've got air conditioners running in the house. I've got 2 window units going 24/7. I've got fans on all the time. I've got a deep freezer that I regularly stick my head in because I'm a big guy and I get hot. It's not fun. It's not fun being warm all the time. But that, guys, is why we are doing part 2 of our ongoing series of Switch eShop games that won't break the bank. I'm upping the budget a little bit from $15 in part 1 up to $20 because there's just so many great games at $20. I was leaving a lot of stuff on the table, so I hope you forgive me here. Before we get into the list, guys, before we get into these 6 games, I want you to click that subscribe button down below. And now, let's take a look at 6 eShop games that won't break the bank. Now, Blaster Master Zero is a remake of the NES classic from Sunsoft that released back in the 80s and was one of the games that I got on a truly epic Christmas. And I just fell in love with it. So when this got remade, I knew I had to get this game. And this was, I think, the first digital game I bought on my Switch. All right, now this isn't a one-for-one remake of the original from the NES. It does actually include some plot lines or some plot details from the Japanese version of the game, which was called Meta Fight, as well as including some stuff from the Worlds of Power book of Blaster Master. I don't know if you guys remember those or not, but back in the early 90s, Scholastic, honestly, in a stroke of genius, created a series of books based on NES games, and Blaster Master was one of them. It was I'll say a loose interpretation of of the plot line, but these books were awesome because you got like a trading card inside of them, and there were game hints on the bottom of every page. But it's irrelevant to this conversation, but I loved the Worlds of Power. Now, this game, the basic plotline is you got to look for your frog. He fell down a hole and you go after him. And when you're down there, you find Sophia. Sophia is your tank. The game's great. You're able to get in and out of the vehicle, and it's a Metroidvania adventure. You're able to use your character of Jason to enter doors or caves, and that takes you from a side-scrolling platforming action game into kind of an isometric shooter. It's pretty great. And then, like I said, it is a Metroidvania, so the further into the game you get, the more upgrades you get, the more places you're able to go. Definitely worth checking out for $10. So next up is When Ski Lifts Go Wrong from Curve Digital. This is a $14.99 physics puzzler, and I first heard about this via the Nintendo Switch subreddit, of all places. The lead developer on this actually posted up there about his game, posted a video of it, and I thought it just looked really interesting and really fun. And, hey, I like winter sports, so I wasn't going to pass up the chance to build my own ski lift, right? And the game is pretty basic. You build a ski lift and make sure your skiers don't die. Now, that is the basic requirement of the game. You can go as crazy and as ridiculous as you want and, just have the ski lifts collapse under the weight of the ski lift that's running over it, have your riders fall off and plummet to their death. It's a fun game. But basically, you're building foundations, adding braces and pulleys to make sure your ski lift is moving forward. And then after you do that, and if you are successful in completing the level, and you get your rider from point A to point B safely, you can then take control of your rider and do different activities. There's skiing, snowboarding, motorbiking, and all kinds of other stuff. And one of the really neat things, too, is while there are over 100 levels in the game, there's also a sandbox mode, so you get free reign to build whatever you want later on. It's a really fun game. I actually got this on sale during the summer sale for a very, very steep discount, and I can tell you that I would still pay the $14.99 for it, but it does go on sale fairly frequently, so keep an eye out. All right, guys, now this is pod racing, and I apologize for that, but I felt the need to channel Jake Lloyd here. Props to Jake Lloyd, who gets a really bad rap for his portrayal of Anakin. He doesn't deserve that, guys. He was a kid. Leave him alone. This is a $14.99 game, originally developed by LucasArts. This port was handled by Aspyr, and it's a beautiful remaster of the original. There's over 24 racers to choose from, tons of pods that you can use, and what's really cool is that you're not just stuck with stock. You can actually upgrade your pod racer, like every aspect of it, from the cooling system for your jets down to your pit droids to make your repairs go faster. There's really classic music from the films in the games, as well as voices from the films. Like, I know I hear a Greg Proops in there at the start of every race, which is pretty awesome, Who's Line fans. One of the things I really like about this game is how long the races are. you don't feel like you're getting ripped off. It's not like a 30-second race and you're done. Like, every lap is lengthy, and every race is at least 3 laps, so you've got a lot of racing to do. I will say that, you know, this is a 1990s game, so the AI isn't the most balanced thing in the world, and if you're able to find a rhythm and actually get pretty far ahead, then the game kind of loses its challenge. But the first time you go to a track, it's going to be a little bit difficult, and you're going to have to figure out the nuances and the rhythm of the races. Now, I don't want to call this a remaster. I think that's kind of overused right now, and this definitely isn't remastered, but I will say it's retextured. They took the old ugly textures and just prettied them up a bit. So while it's not perfect, and there is definitely some rough spots in the game, but it's definitely better than its N64 counterpart. All right, next up we have from Gearbox for $10, Duke Nukem 3D World Tour. And I apologize for the outro to this video. I'm pretty sure I call it Duke Nukem Forever World Tour 3D or something like that. I got overzealous. I apologize. This is the game that is the 20th anniversary of the world's greatest action hero, allowing you to kick ass, take names, and blast aliens in the face with a shotgun. I love the Duke Nukem games when I was a kid. This game is still a blast to play, and it gives you some really neat stuff. You know, you've got the original game. You also get a brand new 5th episode. You get a new weapon, new music from the original composer, and new voice lines from the original voice actor of Duke. And it doesn't stop there. Like, this game for $10 to me is astonishing because Gearbox worked in gyroscopic aiming, so if you're a fan of the aiming from Splatoon, that's going to be in the game. HD Rumble is in there, which I know a lot of people laugh at HD Rumble, but I love when HD Rumble is well incorporated, and Duke Nukem does that. You're able to do a co-op campaign with up to 8 people online, which is crazy, as well as doing an 8-player online Duke match. Not a death match, but a Duke match. You can play with the original 1996 visuals, or you can play in a true 3D remaster. And honestly, guys, come on. It's fucking Duke Nukem. All right, guys, now from 10 Tons is Tesla versus Lovecraft. This is a $14.99 twin-stick shooter where you play as genius inventor and dashing gadabout town Nikola Tesla, allowing you to use your inventions and gadgets to power up your arsenal and, you know, kill all kinds of Lovecraftian Cthulhu monsters that rise from their graves. And you get to build a Tesla mech, which is pretty dope. There's all kinds of stuff going on in this game. There's a story mode and a survival mode, and you're able to play local co-op with 2 to 4 players. The game is big and beautiful. High-tech weaponry, gigantic effects on screen, energy weapons as far as the eye can see. It's a really solid game, and it's a neat premise to take someone from the world of fiction like H.P. Lovecraft and someone from the world of science like Tesla and put them against each other and see what happens. The game is... It's a twin-stick shooter. Like, if you've ever played Enter the Gungeon or even Smash TV back in the day, you've played something similar to this. You understand the basic concept of the game. But this game also incorporates some really neat stuff. Like, you actually get a teleporter allowing you to zip around pretty quickly through the level, letting you get away from the mobs. There's, as I mentioned, there's some really neat Tesla inventions in the game. So you're able to get these big nukes and stuff like that clear out the entire map, and, you know, health packs drop, so you're able to heal up. And I do like that, unlike Smash TV, for example, or Gungeon, the level's just open. You get the whole thing to run around in, so you don't have to go to another room or anything like that, segmenting things off. The whole thing is open. The world is your oyster. Have fun with this one. It's a really good game. All right, last but not least, because it is the most expensive game on the list, is Mark of the Ninja Remastered from Clay Entertainment. This is a $20 game, and let me tell you, they could have slapped $30 on this and it still would have been worth it. This game is spectacular. I played this game originally on Steam, and this was before the remaster was out. I played the original Mark of the Ninja, and I loved it. And when the remaster came out, I was on board, and it was neat on Steam because they actually gave it to you for free. So to tell you how much I love Mark of the Ninja, I not only got this remaster for free on Steam, I paid the money to get this on the Switch as well. This game gives you all of the DLC from the Steam release included in the cost. So everything you need is yours from jump. It lets you play as a new character, gives you a new level, new items, and what is really cool is developer commentary. So after you beat the game, you're able to turn on the developer commentary and kind of get like a pop-up video as you play to realize like what was the thought process behind the gongs, what went into the idea behind the fireworks, the darts. It's really cool. And not to be overlooked also, guys, is that this game has a completely remastered visual appearance. It looks great. And you get a new game plus once it's completed. So The game, it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving, and each level has built-in replay value. There's branching paths throughout the game, so you don't have just one set way you have to go. You have options on how you can proceed through a level. So there's replay value built in, and there's collectibles everywhere in this game, and there's tons of them to find per level. But as much as I like the design and all of the stuff that Clay put into the game to keep you coming back to keep playing, the most intriguing part of this is the gameplay itself. This is a stealth platformer. Now, at its core, you hear stealth platformer, you're thinking, oh, okay, so you walk around and you hide and you don't want to engage. And yes, to a degree, that's true. But the game really ups itself when it starts actively rewarding you for avoiding direct engagement with your enemies. You have different ways that you can kill. You have different ways that you can move them away from you to proceed past them. You'll get points for being undetected. But when you go in for the kill, you actually have different directions you have to press on the D-pad that will pop up on screen, as well as the attack button. And if you fulfill that correctly, you get a silent kill. And if you don't, they will make too much noise and alert other guards that are around you. It's a really fascinating game, and it's really, really fun and kind of chaotic when you mess up. And all of a sudden, you've got 10 guards coming down on you, shooting you. Definitely worth picking up, and I know it is the most expensive game at 20 bucks. It's worth it. All right, guys, there you have it. 6 eShop games that are not going to break the bank, that are going to allow you to keep that thermostat set at 71 all summer. Every little bit helps. We know that, right? Okay. First up, we got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and Duke Nukem Forever 3D World Tour. These are 2 classic games, 2 games that I used to play when I was a teenager that I just love, and I was so happy to see them get remastered and re-released. How about Duke with the gyro controls? And Episode 1 Racer getting the texture upgrade. Things are looking a lot better. I am loving these games. They are so much fun. Definitely worth picking up. When Ski Lifts Go Wrong is a game I first heard about on the Nintendo Switch subreddit. The developer posted that he was releasing a game, and he posted videos of it, and I was like, this looks crazy. This looks like so much fun. And it is. Puzzle games are great, and when they're from an indie developer, that you should always support indie developers, especially the good ones. They're worth picking up. They're a lot of fun to keep going. And who doesn't love a twin-stick shooter? Tesla vs. Lovecraft fills that in spades. You got a lot of action going on with crazy dark ones coming up from the ground. And, Tesla just rocking the Tommy gun and the shotgun. It's a lot of fun. Eventually, you even get a mech. The game is crazy good. You've got Blaster Master Zero, a throwback to a classic NES game that remasters it lovingly and gives you an entirely new experience on the Switch. And then finally, we've got Mark of the Ninja Remastered. One of my favorite Steam games is out on the Switch, and it's so good. I strongly suggest you pick it up. It is the most expensive one on the list, but at 20 bucks, you can still afford it because it's not something that's going to break the bank, and you get a ton of replay value out of it. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down in the comments below video games you like on the Nintendo Switch eShop for under 20 bucks that you think I should check out on future editions of this video. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, hit the dislike if you didn't, and let us know what we can do better. Be sure to subscribe while you're here, and you ring that notification bell as well so you can stay up to date with what we've got going on. Until next time, guys, I have been Jay. You play more games and stay square.